You have an herb for sexuality?
You know I do. And it's so ironic what it's called. Well, it's not even ironic, it's just practical. It's called horny goat weed. Alright? But the good thing is it's good for men and women, and it does help with sexual health, but it also helps with memory.
Hi guys, welcome to How You Living, the show that's all about health and wellness. I'm Dr. Kiva.
Hey guys, I am Robin B.
So how you living?
I'm living good. I know it's bad English, but I'm living good.
Oh, we say living.
I'm living
You don't say how you
good.
living.
Right. We're being consistent.
Exactly.
I'm good, yeah. So today, although we cover all the 9 elements or the 9 dimensions of wellness, today we are talking about which?
We're talking. Which?
Well, it's
They all
physical.
follow it.
It's kind of physical wellness.
So we're just talking about the aging process when it comes to the body.
Yeah.
How it shows up and what you can do in order to maybe you won't stop the aging process, but slow it down a tad.
Right. And because Dr. Kiva is a chiropractor and a yogi, she's very qualified to talk about this.
I try. Because it's not about living longer, because that won't happen.
Right.
It's just about having a good
quality
of life while you're here, because it's nothing when you see someone who's, aging and they're like, oh, my back, my neck.
Right.
Okay, we're going to have arthritis, but what can we do to help with the inflammation that's going on in our bodies?
That's great. And because you really can live without pain. I mean, it shouldn't be a given that you're aging and you're just going to be in pain. That should not be a given.
Exactly.
You're in charge of your body.
It was this, social media gets you every time.
Uh-huh.
I sent it to you, the guy
Which one?
Who was like, what happens after 40?
Oh,
he was singing my hair.
I love that song. That is going to be viral. It's going to be, that was really, he nailed it.
He was like, oh, my memory, I forgot.
I love that. That was one of his verses. I forgot.
Yeah, so life after 40. And it's wild because, really, once you get 30, that's when you stop having as much synovial fluid in your joints, and that's when things start to have little pains.
Yeah,
right?
you start losing your collagen.
Well, at 20, you increase your probability of having a disc herniation.
Okay.
So every decade after that, you just increase your probability of it. So I had a patient ask me, well, how often do people come in with disc herniations? And I had to talk to them on MRI. I said, that's maybe about 80 or 90%.
I was going to say daily.
Right,
daily.
And so you get to a point where I'm so used to saying, oh, you have degenerative joint disease in your neck. Oh, you have it you have arthritis in your shoulder, because it's such a common thing for me to say all the time. But even with that being said, I talked to him about sugar. When you're doing sugar, it's going to inflame. And so I'm like, oh, really? Wow.
And meat.
Yeah. And carbs. And now even beans. The lectins on beans can cause inflammation.
Oh,
so some beans that you eat.
Okay, do you know which ones?
Lentils.
Lentils? My mom makes lentil soup all the time.
Yeah, just look up lectins.
Oh,
and you'll
Lord
see
have
how
mercy.
that causes inflammation. Even chickpeas.
Can you soak them?
Well, you have to soak, and there's a process that you have to do to get the lectins, because the lectins that's on the beans are actually a toxin for insects that are trying to eat the beans. Then we turn around and eat the toxins.
So would that be the same case with organic?
Yeah. Because, it's just the beans' way of living.
Okay, good to know. Okay.
Yeah, so it's like those things that we don't know that cause additional inflammation in our bodies, that's what gets us.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah.
So what can we do about all this horrible stuff?
It's not horrible. It's just being mindful.
Aging and pain and all the foods that make your aging speed up.
Just make sure you just like, oh, I got that back pain because, I used to have fun back in the day.
Knowledge, memories. Good stuff.
So let's start with the cardiovascular system.
Okay.
That's when we're looking at the blood vessels and everything.
Okay.
So as we get older, when we have the most common change in the cardiovascular system is actually stiffening of the blood vessels and arteries. And those are the ones that's going into our heart. So we start to have that, and that means it's going to start to adjust the increase in blood flow, which will cause you to have high blood pressure. And it just comes with aging because they start to get smaller, the arteries and the blood vessels. So what you can do, you can, of course, do physical activity. That could just be a 30-minute walk, exactly. And of course, eat healthy.
Eat healthy.
Eat healthy. Eat fruits and vegetables, those things that are going to help with blood flow. And don't smoke.
And that's always number one, too. For pretty much any kind of ailment, you've got to. And it's hard to quit smoking, but there are so many ways now.
It is, because, when you start to smoke, it actually just starts to clog up the arteries, and that stops the blood flow.
Is that everything? Tobacco and other things? I mean, now weed is legal in so many places.
I bet you, I don't really speak on that because I'm not 100% sure.
Because we don't know if it's the nicotine or if it's some other element.
Because they have so much other stuff in it. And of course, manage stress and have enough sleep. Because stress, of course, and the lack of sleep, those are also, because it's only during your sleep cycle that your body starts to heal. So if you're not getting enough sleep, your body's really not healing.
And that's definitely an issue with probably the majority of Americans.
Exactly. So what teas can we do for the cardiovascular system?
So for cardio, almost all teas are good, but primarily, specifically for high blood pressure, hibiscus tea is great, and ginger tea is great. Those were and green tea, of course.
Right.
Green tea, and I always say you got to drink 3 to 4 cups, but what I do is I'll make a 16 or 18 ounce big, huge cup or vessel, and now I'm drinking that green tea all day. Now you are getting your 3 or 4 cups. So that makes it a lot easier instead of trying to make 3 or 4 cups.
Right. Now hibiscus tea, isn't that kind of a diuretic, and it causes you to pee, and that's why it's good for your cardiovascular system?
It's exactly right. And so it acts just like a blood pressure medicine. Without all the side effects. So, and then it tastes good too. So I've gotten into the habit of adding hibiscus flowers to almost all my tea.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and so that is really the best way. And then ginger is in itself, all by itself, is like a miracle drug.
Exactly.
It really
is. It's so crazy too. Like some medicines that you take for high blood pressure, you're not supposed to eat green leafy vegetables because, so you're like,
you can't win.
You can't win.
Really
so
can't win.
It's best to just stop it at the start and just go natural and see if that can heal your body.
Right. Use it as a preventative before you even get to the point where you need a prescription.
Exactly.
I agree with that.
Now my favorite, bones, joints, and muscles.
That's your wheelhouse.
I love bones, joints, and muscles.
She loves bones, joints, and muscles. That's her thing. That's her game.
Yes. So as we get older, we start to shrink in density. And weakening, making them more susceptible to fractures.
Yeah.
And so we tend to maybe when we start to have that, we have problems with coordination, stability, and balance. So things that you could do for that, of course, is amp up your calcium. And then amp up your vitamin D. Right. Of course, it's always better to be outside to get the vitamin D if you can. Increase your physical activity with weight-bearing activities. So, like you said, walking, yoga. So, weight-bearing, anything that you're standing up.
So, like the rebounder is good.
Yeah.
I know it's hard. I mean, it's really, but those.
Like when you're doing the bounce therapy.
Yeah, but you do bounce therapy?
Yeah, on the little trampoline.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm talking about, the rebounder. Yeah, I get on mine, but it wears me out almost immediately. But there's also something called the vibration plate. You probably know what that is.
I've seen that.
Now that has been used by a lot of chiropractors for bone density. It helps.
Right.
It helps if you're dealing with osteoporosis. It kind of puts your bone, makes them dense again because they're like holes. So osteoporosis is like, it makes your bones very porous. I just learned that.
It's osteopenia and osteoporosis, because osteopenia is right before you get to osteoporosis. And the thing with weight bearing, it's like when you're standing, the bone has these little micro tears. It's like they're pressed against each other and they're breaking basically. Right. And once they break, new cells go into those little fractures, and that's why it becomes more dense with your bones. That's why
physical activity is so
exactly for people. Yeah. So even just walking, or like I said, anything that you're doing where you're standing, and you'll be able to do more weight bearing. And so what do we have? And of course, as we get older, we start to lose some of our muscle dense, our muscle mass. Now, you don't lose a lot. It's not like you use 50%. It's something maybe like 20% that you'll lose muscle mass, 20 to 30%. But the thing is, if you're working out and you're doing activities to still strengthen muscle, you still can have muscle strength, but you lose some just because of age.
So let's say you have lost some of your muscle strength, you've lost some of your bone density. Is there a way to reverse that?
Well, I don't know necessarily reverse, but like the weight bearing activities for sure, and then doing some light weights.
Okay.
Exercise.
Exercise is key.
Exercise
really.
is
You will
key.
never, ever, ever have osteoporosis.
I'm gonna try
I'll be
not
shocked
to.
if you
Hey,
do.
I like going to the gym and seeing someone who's
your
way
thing.
older than me, and we're talking, and they're like, "Oh, we
They're like,
have
well,
competition."
yeah, that's beautiful. I think that's phenomenal. That's why I keep saying I'm going to join you one day.
So what do we have for bones, joints and muscles for teas?
Number one, I would say for bone health is nettle. Nettle leaf is an herb, and you can make a tea out of it, of course. And you can always add. I like to make a concoction, so that's one of my favorite things. So you can add nettle to whatever.
Right.
Ginger and turmeric are wonderful for your joints and muscles because turmeric, and both of them are anti-inflammatories.
Right.
And they're also, they say anti-cancer. I don't like to say that.
Yeah,
but
that's a hard thing to...
Right. But what the studies show is that it can help inhibit it.
Right.
So I wouldn't say anti, but it definitely helps because it's building your immune system. And if you have a strong immune system, you can fight those cells better.
Exactly.
So those three, nettle, ginger, and turmeric, are great for bones, joints, and muscles.
Exactly. And like you were saying, if those are anti-inflammatories, try to avoid your sugars.
Right. Oh, that's number one.
And if you can, like they say, when you go to the store, go around the perimeter to
do
shop.
not go
Anything
down the
in
middle.
Box.
Yeah, anything convenient is going to be the worst thing for you.
Or just look at the ingredients, and if you can, sugar. Okay, inflammation.
100%. Now, I don't know if it fights it. I'm assuming that it will not contribute to inflammation because it's not sugar. One of my favorite sugar substitutes is monk fruit.
I don't know enough about it because I will say that sometimes the body only knows sugar. It doesn't say, "Ooh, this sugar goes over here and this sugar goes over here." You have some sugars that are lower in the glycemic index, so that would help with diabetes and things.
So monk fruit has zero glycemic and it's 0 calories, and it's from a fruit. So
but some fruits aren't
and it's processed, so you still have to look deeper. But if you're trying to avoid sugar and you're diabetic, that is an option.
Right. And just like if you drink straight orange juice, you're drinking straight sugar.
I think that's not good.
Yeah.
Like I can eat an entire watermelon in one sitting, but that's a lot of sugar.
That's a lot of sugar. That's a lot of sugar. Or if you do like something like say apple, which is going to spike your sugars, if you do it with the protein, say like peanut butter or almond butter, it helps to not spike up your protein. So it's spike up your sugar.
So if I want to dip my apple in some peanut butter or almond butter, I'm doing myself a favor?
Yeah. Now you do yourself more of a favor if you make the peanut butter, almond butter at home, but that's another discussion.
Okay, well, you don't live far. I can easily scoot right over to your house and get some all-natural almond butter.
Yeah, because now even with the almonds, you have to be concerned about what goes around them for the lectins, but that's a whole other discussion.
She knows her stuff, I'm telling you. All right, what we get next?
And then we look at the digestive system.
Okay. Everyone's favorite.
Everyone's favorite. Everyone's favorite old uncle who has gas.
Oh my goodness, at the table. I mean, probably 80%, I would say easily 80% of Americans suffer from some form of digestive issue.
I would say it's pretty high too, because sometimes we have, as we get older, we have changes in our large intestines. And that can cause more constipation as we get older. And with the lack of exercise and not drinking enough water and a low fiber diet, and of course medications, is because iron
and blood pressure
can actually cause you, and diuretics, they can actually cause you to have constipation. And so once again, eating a healthy diet, trying not to have a lot of sweets, more vegetables, high fiber vegetables and fruits. Increase your activity always.
That is number one.
It helps
you're
you
sitting,
flow.
right, your digestive system is sluggish because you're sitting there, you're not moving anything.
Exactly.
So it's like saying, you're not working, why should I work? Basically.
And you can't ignore it. I mean, because if you're not having a bowel movement, because Well, I think fruits and vegetables, they go through your system about
Immediately.
5 hours, 3 to 5
Well,
hours.
fruits and vegetables.
Yeah. Now meat can take about 3 days.
Yeah, at least. If a steak could take weeks.
Yeah. And so it has to go through. It has to break it down. So that's what can cause a lot of constipation
and people get real irritable when they're constipated.
Like an irritable bowel syndrome.
It's IBS. Hey, there you go. Crohn's, IBS, all of those. Diverticulosis.
Because if you don't use the bathroom, you can get a leaky gut, and
Yes.
then all of a sudden that starts to come through your mouth, and you're like, okay, you need to go to the bathroom.
And what do they call? I know you know this. What do they call your digestive system? Your second.
Your second brain, your
yeah.
gut. And
so your gut is your second brain.
Yeah, and that's because of the vagus nerve that's coming down from the brain. It goes to the gut. Yeah. So it is.
That's so important.
If you were stopped up in your gut, your brain isn't functioning right. You can have a foggy brain. So I know you got something for digestive health.
That is one of my best sellers is my detox tea. Detox, as you know, detox, you have to detox your body, right? Because garbage in, garbage out. Get that garbage out. So for digestion, it's quite a bit, but I will just do a few. Milk thistle, as you know, dandelion, senna. Senna is very effective if you're constipated. It'll definitely clear you out. So if you got to go for a colonoscopy, instead of drinking all that crap that they want you to drink, just drink senna. And that'll empty you out. You can't leave the house. You cannot leave the house.
Drink some senna today.
I promise you don't.
If I don't go,
make no plans. If you don't go, I'll eat a bug. Okay, I promise. She's already weighs like 100 pounds. You're gonna be about 85 when you finish. And salt. Oh no, that's for a different one. So yeah, milk thistle, dandelion, senna. I just made a new formula in my detox tea. I'm gonna give you some. I want you to try it out.
I'll try.
We up the senna, because I want to make it a lot more effective. Sometimes you have to get to your second cup before it works. Now you should be able 1 cup and done.
Okay, give me
You're
some
gonna be my guinea pig.
I'm gonna drink it today.
The prettiest guinea pig you ever saw.
Thank you. I'll take it.
You're crazy. So yes, I would say, and because once you are detoxed and you're clear thinking, you sleep better, you're in a better mood.
Skin looks better.
Yeah, you can almost tell people who have it, because they're cranky.
Yeah.
I know I'd be cranky. Absolutely. Yeah. You need to feel lighter.
Exactly.
Okay, so
and we need to stress water too.
Water is key. And when you are detoxing, thank you for saying that. The more you detox, the more you absolutely need to drink water. And that goes with any supplement. So all these I'm talking about straight herbs like tea, but if you take these in the form of a supplement, your kidney and your liver needs that water. So remember that.
I know, got to flush it out.
Absolutely.
Now moving into bladder and the urinary tract. So we lose elasticity in those muscles that we use in our bladder and urinary tract.
That's why Kegels are so important?
That's why Kegels, that's one of the things you do.
Look
Kegel exercises.
So can you tell our friendly audience what Kegels are?
We'll get there. We'll try to explain it. I'll explain it like I explained at a yoga class. But you actually start to lose those the strength of the muscles in the pelvic floor.
Okay.
And that's what it's called, the pelvic floor muscles.
Okay.
And so when you start to lose that, that's when people have more problems with going to the bathroom or always going to the bathroom throughout the night because those muscles are so weak and you don't fully empty out.
Right. So that's you're going more often because you're not emptying out.
Exactly. So,
that's good.
And of course there's other things that can cause it, like if you're overweight or if you have diabetes or sometimes if you have a high alcohol or caffeine consumption, those are all things that can also affect your bladder and urinary tract. Okay. So of course go to the bathroom regularly. Try to maintain a healthy weight.
Okay.
Don't smoke. Kegels. And try to avoid things that irritate the bladder like caffeine, acidic foods, alcohol, carbonated beverages. And avoid constipation by drinking water. And of course, like we said before. So with the Kegel exercise, it's almost, the way we explain it in yoga, it's like right in your pelvic floor muscle, feel as though you're lifting up a feather.
Oh, wow. That's the most poetic way I've ever, they always say, if you have to go to the bathroom, you're trying to hold it in, that's how you do a Kegel.
Just feel like you're trying to suck up a feather.
A feather, wow, okay. That's real poetic.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
I
And for men, that's maybe right between the behind the testicles.
Okay, that's
So
called
below
the
the testicles
perineum or something. I forget what it's
Yeah,
called.
I'm not gonna
Perineal or something, right?
And so they just try to lift up right behind the testes.
Okay, so would the men clench? Is that what they do?
I mean, you don't have to clench.
But they can do Kegels
Yeah,
too?
it's just, I mean, because they have a pelvic floor muscles.
I never realized men can do it too.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good
We
to
don't
know.
have, we still have the muscles.
Okay, all right.
Or, you know, for women, what they would say is when you go to the bathroom, hold it, and then kind of do that as you use the bathroom, and that's also doing the exercise.
And conversely, if you have to go to the bathroom, you need to go when you feel it.
Exactly.
Stop holding it, because when I was a little girl, I didn't want to miss anything. I was so nosy.
Who's surprised?
So I'm serious. I always said I was going to be a reporter because I needed to know everything. And so I had a bad habit of like waiting until the last minute as a kid because I didn't want to miss anything.
Or one day I was driving. I think I was driving to Dallas or something. I was like, okay, I'm not going to stop at this Buc-ee's. I'm going to wait. And that was the worst move in the world.
If you think you can hold it, and women are like camels. We can hold it for hours. It's a horrible thing to do, but we can.
Hey,
men can't hold it.
Remember a few years ago, this lady, she was obsessed with her.
The diaper?
Yes. She wore a diaper so that way she could dry the floor.
To go kill somebody. She just wore it. And I'm like, okay. She's just peeing and pooping while she's driving. That is mind-blowing.
That is crazy.
But at least she was thinking about her bladder. She said, I'm not going to hold it. I'm just going to pee in the diaper and keep it moving.
Yeah, I don't know nobody obsessed with that like that.
That was one of the craziest
stories
stories ever.
So what do we have for bladder and the urinary tract when it comes to
so
herbs?
One of the things is great for bladder, urinary tract is saw palmetto, and that is it's for men and women actually. It helps with the prostate as well, and that also I will take you back to hibiscus, and there's another one. My brain just went dead. That's great for helping with the womb, and it'll come to me.
That's good because next we're talking about memory.
Okay, thank you. I need some ginkgo. I'm thinking of the raspberry leaf. Raspberry leaf is very good for a woman's womb. And so, all of that's related. But as far as bladder is concerned, I would highly recommend saw palmetto.
Oh, you had one guest ask a question, and hopefully you can answer it, right?
Okay.
I know, right? Don't you hate when that happens?
I'm on the spot.
So why do these herbs work for the body?
I think because God made them. And God is all-knowing. Why do we have every single organ that runs out? And we are the most intelligent machine in the world. So herbs work for the body because they're from the earth. And so all of us are part of nature. That's just my belief.
So it's almost like since we come from
come from the earth. Think about that.
Ashes to ashes,
dust to dust.
This is just us putting back nutrients that we are coming from anyway.
And think about this: our ancestors or cavemen, way back from the beginning of time, they didn't have chemicals. They only had the earth. So they had to discover what made. That shows you how intelligent life worked. They had to do trial and error. Back in thousands of years ago.
Right.
And that's why we know a lot of traditional Chinese medicine is thousands of years old because they figured it out for us.
Okay.
So it's just to me, part of our intelligence is knowing what we can use to help make us live a better life and natural.
That's good for when we talked the other show about ageism and wisdom.
Absolutely.
So that's
this is why wisdom's so important.
Exactly.
Thank you.
So the next is looking at the memory and thinking skills. So as we get older, the brain undergoes changes as we age with minor effects to the memory and thinking. For example, a healthy elderly person might forget familiar words. So what we can do is we can, of course, increase activities because we're always trying to get the blood flow. So we need to increase blood flow to the brain.
Absolutely.
Eat a healthy diet. Not because, they say sugar hits your brain just like cocaine, that addiction. And so, a healthy diet is also going to be good for mental. Stay active with your brain, play memory games, or read or learn a new skill because you develop these new neural pathways. So if we learn things, your brain is always synapsing and developing new skills. Be social. Depression can also affect your brain. So find someone to talk to, find something to do. even if you're by yourself, just
and music is very medicinal.
Exactly.
So even if you are on your own, listen to some your favorite music. Last night, or yesterday, while I was doing my decluttering, I am singing out loud Tracy Chapman's first album. That just made I love it. I'm telling you, for me, just like how do you know all the words? I love that. And so find your favorite music that you could sing along. It really elevates your energy.
Exactly.
Really elevates your vibration.
Exactly. Then you're probably dancing, doing a little weight bearing.
There you go.
The joints.
Absolutely.
And of course, always being mindful of cholesterol, diabetes, high blood pressure, because that can affect your brain.
Your health is very important. Your physical health affects your mental health.
Exactly. So do we have any herbs for mental and thinking skills?
Absolutely. And one of the things you just mentioned for helping with your cognitive memory and everything is crosswords. My mom does. She goes through so many crossword puzzles. You would never know how old she is because she is sharp as a tack.
Nice.
So crosswords is an easy, cheap thing to do to keep your brain fresh. For memory, we have ginkgo biloba, which is tried and true.
I think everybody knows
Everybody,
about ginkgo.
Absolutely. Deepak Chopra talks about that all the time.
Yeah.
Pretty much. But ashwagandha, it's an adaptogenic, but it also helps with your memory, helps with your mood. So it's really good. It kind of helps balance you out.
What does that mean, adaptogenic?
It's helps your body, whatever your state of mind is, it just goes with your body chemistry. Some kind of way. I don't know.
So does it help with energy or does it help with sleep?
It helps with mood.
Okay, because I've seen sometimes they'll say for energy, then other times they'll say for relaxation. I'm like, well,
there you
how can you do both?
That's an adaptogenic. It meets you where you are. So if you're stressed out, it's going to calm you down. If you're depressed, it's going to lift you up.
Okay.
And that's ashwagandha is the same way, and so is astragalus. Both of those are adaptogenic, so both of those are great.
Okay,
I carry both of those. And then also sage. Now sage, this is why I add sage to the menopause tea. Yeah, I'm plugging. Because sage also helps with memory and mood, and it also helps with hot flashes, of course.
Right.
But it's great for memory and mood. It helps with your brain function. So those are three herbs that are really natural and good. That you don't have to worry about a chemical.
Oh, that's cool.
Yes, ma'am.
And so we have eyes and ears. So of course, as we get older, we start to have some eye problems, especially nowadays. Oh my God! If you're in front of the computer too much, it's like your eyes just get tired.
Right.
And especially when we get older and you start driving at night. Those lights and everything.
It's so blinding.
It can be very blinding.
Absolutely.
So you have to adapt to, because sometimes we have problems adapting to the different lights.
Right. And now our phones and tablets they have something on it that says, easy viewing or something like that. Yeah, so it's got a yellow tint to it.
It's still a great
it's still
experiment.
Not good. Yeah.
I think we're just a great experiment because we don't know. It's still kind of new.
Absolutely.
To see who we are going to be later on.
Thank you.
And just schedule checkups for your eyes.
It's important.
Yeah.
Because after a while, I'm like, are my contacts going bad? Because I can barely see now. But if you have the same prescription for 10 years, more than likely you do need to get a new set of glasses or whatever.
And especially if people just looking at the screen for a long period of time, which I'm guilty of too.
We're all guilty of it.
You can get into a TikTok hole before you know. I'm like, I've been looking at this thing for 30 minutes.
You would never lie, girl. That is what because it's really developed to do that.
Yes.
There's a lot of psychiatry, or I think probably psychiatry, that went into creating TikTok and all of these snap, real fast, short-term memory, what I'm trying to say.
Have you seen that Netflix special, Social Dilemma?
No.
Yeah, you should look at it because the people who developed all these different
make us aware.
They don't let their kids look at it.
Ain't that something? I'm not surprised. I am not
like,
surprised. The butcher's probably a vegetarian. So that makes perfect sense.
You see all that stuff, that pus coming out like, oh, man, we're not going to eat that.
Don't remind me.
Anything for eye health?
Yeah, we do. For eye health, there is green tea is always great. Green tea and purple tea, which a lot of people don't know about purple tea, but both of those are great for improving eye health. Also, Eye Bright, which you brought to my attention, which I love the idea because Eye Bright is like for ENT. It's like an ear, nose, and throat doctor because they're all related. Your nasal passage, your eyes, your ears are all related. So eyebright is an herb that I can't wait to try because I'm always nasally, but it's really, really great for your eyes. And I'm looking
it's like an
to
anti-inflammatory for everything.
Oh, and fennel. Fennel's good for your eye health as well, so that's good.
And the good thing too about some of those is you can put them in foods as you're cooking.
Absolutely.
You know, like at least the fennel and the ginger and
the burdock root. You can put in soup. A lot of people add that to their soup.
A medicinal soup.
Yeah, so that's true. Mm-hmm. You can make chicken soup. Add some of those herbs to it, and it just ups the game. You know.
So let's see. So we won't go through all the rest of them, but let's look at one that I'm sure that you would find interesting. So, sexuality.
There she goes. She said it. So, I mean, because here's what we're learning. There was a study that showed that STDs are running rampant in nursing homes. Okay, so they're still having sex.
They're still getting it in.
And they're still getting it in at all ages. So sexual health, you want to meet your partner where they are. So if she's hot to trot, but he's not, let's find something to make. Or vice versa.
For women, they tend to find more vaginal dryness.
Yeah, so there are
that
things.
makes sex uncomfortable for a female.
Absolutely.
And men, they tend to be impotent.
Mm-hmm.
And that becomes a concern. And it can all be related to what you're eating
medical,
and medical, especially if you have diabetes. That's one of the signs, and even high blood pressure. Because that's why Viagra was created for the blood pressure. It wasn't created for.
Are you serious?
Yeah, that was a side like,
God.
we gave you this and that happened.
Well, I heard that now they have chewable Viagra for the lazy man who doesn't want to swallow it.
And remember, at one point, women couldn't even touch the peel.
Really?
Yeah, there was like.
Oh, that's right.
You couldn't touch
That's
it. So
right.
you're like, if
that's
I can't
so
touch
interesting. So she can't flush him down the toilet when he's not looking.
No, she can't touch it unless she has on gloves.
That's wild.
And so, of course, exercise. That's always going to help with the blood flow.
And how you
talk to
eat.
your doctor. I even think that dehydration, anything that you're not drinking enough water of, your body's going to be dehydrated. So I would think that for sexuality or sexual health,
I think so.
Hydration is a good one. Do you have a herb for sexuality?
You know I do. And it's so ironic what it's called. Well, it's not even ironic. It's just practical. It's called horny goat weed. All right. But the good thing is it's good for men and women, and it does help with sexual health, but it also helps with memory. Remember I was telling you it's also good for memory. And then lemon verbena, believe it or not. That is from the lemon family, which I love. It's not only does lemon verbena help you with sexual health, but it also relaxes you. Okay.
Goat weed.
And then there's another one. Ashwagandha is considered an aphrodisiac.
Well, you said it's adaptogenic.
There you go. So it's adapting to what you need.
So I need that in everything.
I'm telling you, we all could use a little ashwagandha in our lives, right? So yeah, absolutely. There are probably a few others, but those are two that I would highly recommend if you want to enhance your sexual, well-being. So
I would let me ask you this, because as we get older, also we have skin issues.
Right.
Do you know any herbs that help with skin stuff?
Oh my goodness, yeah. Mullein leaf is believe it or not, it's great for your respiratory health, but it's also good for your skin. Burdock root is amazing for your skin. So most of these herbs, you can use them topically. You can make your own cream, or you make your own oil, or whatever one.
Would it help with wrinkles and?
Oh my God, yes, absolutely.
And just how your skin just can get kind of thin. And,
yes.
Okay.
It will. Yeah, it can work with that because I put all kinds of crap on my face. Turmeric. I use it. You may do it too. I use a turmeric mask. I wash my face.
I have a turmeric mask that I use.
I think you add turmeric, cocoa butter. No, not cocoa, but coconut oil, turmeric. And the only reason I call it turmeric because his doctor told me that's what, but we like to call it turmeric. Turmeric sounds more fun. Turmeric with coconut oil and baking soda, and squeeze some lemon, and that's great for your skin health. But it also helps with dark spots.
I don't know about baking soda. I tried to do natural deodorant and it burned me.
Really?
I can't
you know what? I can't either. And I love all the natural deodorant. I've got about 6 different ones.
No, I tried to make it with baking soda, and it just was like,
maybe it's too strong.
It was too strong for me, so just be mindful of baking soda.
Right, on your face. But I've always washed my face with baking soda. soda. It's a good exfoliant, but you're right.
Yeah.
You do have to be careful.
I don't know what that is about baking soda. And then, when it comes to skin, also, when you get out the shower, maybe put some oil on your skin.
Yeah.
So it won't be dehydrated.
Yes.
So I'm an oil person.
That's good. And the oil is good for you. That's absolutely right.
Exactly.
You can just kind of blend it with something that smells good.
Well, I think that we covered the rooter to the tutor.
We sure did. We literally did. So good luck with your tutors.
And your rooters.
But that is this was great. Like I said, I like to call it pro-aging. You get some really good tools.
Yeah, we have
for
pro-aging and some good teas.
Very good teas. So they're literally, this is almost like part 2 that there's a tea for that. Because you gave us the physical remedies and we've got some herbal remedies.
Exactly.
So with that, you guys should be able to live at least to 100.
Or at least look good.
At least look good while you do it, while you're
Exactly.
aging. Absolutely.
Well, awesome. So if you have any questions or concerns, where can they go?
You can email us at howyouLivin1111@gmail. You can go to our social media. I don't know why Dr. Kiva refuses to do this. She makes me do it every time. But Instagram, Facebook, we are How You Livin Houston. On YouTube, just go for How You Livin with Dr. Kiva and Robin B. We will pop up. And of course, our favorite is all of your podcast platforms. So we're on all the platforms.
We're everywhere.
We're everywhere.
Yeah.
We're omnipresent. How about that?
And this show is brought to you by Wholesome Life Chiropractic, taking care of all your chiropractic needs, and of course, talking to you about your diet.
How can they? Do you have the number to Wholesome
Oh,
Life?
they can just go to the website. Just go to mobilebody.com.
There you go.
Mobilebody.com, and then they can get everything that they need answered.
Beautiful, beautiful. And so thank you guys. We're going to ask you as always, how you living? Peace.
We be like,